Forget safaris and jungles. America's wilderness is quietly out-weirding them all. Here, birds hold grudges, lizards multitask with their butts, and rodents build real estate empires. This isn't just wildlife, it's a full-blown freak show in fur, feathers, and fangs. You're about to meet the locals, and trust me, they're not what your elementary school textbooks prepared you for. 1. The Texas horned lizard isn't just spiky and awkward-looking, it's a living, breathing horror movie effect. When threatened, it shoots blood from its eyes. Yep, actual eye blood. The goal? To scare off predators, especially hungry canines who apparently aren't fans of blood-flavored snacks. This built-in squirt gun trick isn't just bizarre, it's surprisingly effective. The blood contains chemicals that taste terrible to predators, which is nature's way of saying, nope, not today. Imagine being so intimidating that you weaponize your circulatory system. This lizard doesn't run from drama, it bleeds for it. 2. Red foxes might be the unofficial superheroes of the forest. Adorable by day, sonic predators by night. Thanks to their razor-sharp hearing, they can detect the faint heartbeat of a mouse buried under 3 feet of snow. That's like hearing someone whisper in the back row of a Metallica concert. This super sense helps them hunt in winter when most predators struggle. So next time you're fumbling for your AirPods, remember there's a fox out there casually listening to underground rodents planning their next move. 3. Sea otters have cracked the code for both survival and cuteness overload. These fuzzy, floating marshmallows hold hands while they sleep to keep from drifting apart. A behavior adorably dubbed rafting. This isn't just sweet, it's survival. Currents can carry them away if they don't link up. Some even anchor themselves with kelp, like they're parking at a seaweed valet. It's one of those things nature didn't have to make cute, but thank goodness it did. Honestly, this might be the only time clinginess is a survival trait. 4. The eastern box turtle doesn't mess around with halfway defense. When threatened, it slams its shell shut like a bank vault during a robbery. This turtle has hinges on its shell, allowing it to close itself completely. Front, back, and sides. It's basically the Fort Knox of the reptile world. Most predators give up when their snack turns into a literal rock. Evolution gave it a panic room, and it's living the introvert dream. Sealed off, unbothered, and not accepting guests. 5. Mountain lions don't just sneak up on prey, they launch into the situation like four-legged missiles. These big cats, also called cougars or pumas, can leap 18 feet straight up and cover up to 40 feet in a single horizontal bound. That's Olympic-level performance, without the endorsement deals. Imagine casually hopping the length of a school bus because, well, dinner's on the other side. It's both terrifying and impressive, especially if you're the dinner. 6. When it comes to wooing mates, the American woodcock doesn't just chirp a song, it stages a full-on sky rave. During mating season, this odd-looking bird spirals hundreds of feet into the air, making a bizarre, almost electronic buzzing with its wings before dive-bombing back to Earth. Scientists call it a sky dance, but let's be honest, it's more like nature's weirdest DJ set. If birds had clubs, this one's headlining with zero competition. 7. Turkey vultures might not win any beauty contests, but they've got a superpower few birds can claim: the ability to smell death from more than a mile away. While most birds rely heavily on vision, these guys sniff out carrion like gourmet chefs tracking down aged blue cheese. It's gross, it's creepy, and it's incredibly useful for cleaning up nature's leftovers. They're basically flying garbage disposals with a flair for the dramatic, and the nose of a bloodhound on a road trip. 8. The brown pelican isn't just your average bird, it's an aerial acrobat with a built-in fishing net. It's the only pelican species that dives headfirst into the ocean to catch fish, often from heights of up to 60 feet. That's like diving off a 6-story building, face first. When it hits the water, its throat pouch balloons out to trap fish like a soggy Pokemon move. It's wild, it's graceful, and it's mildly terrifying if you're a fish. Dinner comes from above, and it's coming in hot. 9. You wouldn't guess it from their armored appearance, but 9-banded armadillos are surprisingly graceful in water. They can hold their breath for up to 6 minutes and either swim across rivers or inflate their intestines to float. Yes, you read that right. They inflate internally like tiny reptilian pontoons. It's weirdly brilliant and kind of gross, which makes it peak American wildlife. Somewhere out there, an armadillo is paddling in slow motion like it's starring in its own low-budget action film. 10. Some North American turtles are less reptile and more immortal grandpa with a shell. Species like the alligator snapping turtle can live for over a century, chilling in the same muddy waters since the Civil War. With their prehistoric looks and don't rush me vibes, these ancient survivors are like slow-moving time capsules. If they could talk, they'd probably complain about the rising cost of pond real estate and how fish just don't taste like they used to. 11. The American badger might look like a grumpy meatloaf with legs, but don't let the compact frame fool you. This beast is a brawler. They've got strength, speed, and zero patience for nonsense. Badgers have been known to go toe-to-toe with much larger predators, including coyotes. And here's where things get spicy. Sometimes they team up with coyotes to hunt. It's like an action movie crossover. Two fierce species ignoring their differences to annihilate rodents. Researchers still don't know how they communicate during hunts, but one thing's for sure. If badgers ever figure out how to use smartphones, we're next on the menu. 12. The American beaver isn't just nature's construction worker, it's a dental marvel. Their iconic orange teeth never stop growing thanks to iron-rich enamel that's tougher than your last relationship. Constant gnawing on trees isn't just for building dams or annoying campers. It's essential dental care. If they stopped chewing, their teeth could grow so long they'd literally impale themselves. So every log they chew through is a life-or-death dental appointment. Next time you see a dam, remember, it's not just home improvement, it's orthodontics in the wild. 13. That hump on a grizzly bear's back isn't fat, it's a muscle machine. Built like the ultimate bodybuilder of the forest, the grizzly's hump fuels its power-packed forelimbs, giving it digging abilities that'd put backhoes to shame and the sprint speed of an NFL linebacker. Seriously, these walking tanks can hit $35 a mapper. So, while you're tying your shoes tighter during a hike, remember, if a grizzly wants your trail mix, it'll get it. And it'll do it with muscle power straight from the bear gym. 14. Think the eastern coyote is just another backyard howler? Think again. These critters are the result of a genetic party involving coyotes, wolves, and domestic dogs. The outcome? A super coyote hybrid with enhanced size, sharp intelligence, and a diet that reads like a dare. This genetic cocktail makes them unusually adaptable. They're just as comfy in forests as they are sneaking snacks from suburban trash cans. It's like nature decided to combine stealth mode, brute force, and opportunism into one sleek, furry package. 15. If raccoons ever unionize, humanity is doomed. These furry little bandits aren't just cute. They're criminal masterminds. With brains wired for mischief and paws that might as well be lockpicks, raccoons have solved puzzles scientists gave to primates, and sometimes beat them at it. They've been caught opening jars, picking locks, and even memorizing solutions over time. They're basically the Houdinis of the animal world, only fluffier and with a weird obsession with dumpsters. Sleep tight. Your fridge might be next. 16. The eastern box turtle is the introvert of the animal kingdom, and it's got the hardware to prove it. Unlike most turtles, it can pull a full do not disturb by sealing itself entirely inside its shell thanks to a hinge on its bottom plate. When danger approaches, this turtle doesn't run. It just closes shop like a store on Thanksgiving. Portable panic room, check. Predator-proof shell, double check. The only thing missing is a "Leave me alone" sign carved into its back. 17. The bald eagle didn't become a national symbol by being subtle. With a wingspan that can stretch over 7 feet, this bird flies like it owns the airspace. And honestly, it kinda does. Imagine a grown adult lying down across its wings, and you'll still need room for tail feathers. These avian giants aren't just majestic. They're precision predators, capable of snatching fish out of water like it's drive-through sushi. Freedom never looked so aerodynamic. 18. Prairie dogs aren't just squeaky lawn ornaments. They're full-on linguists. These chubby chatterboxes have a language with over 100 distinct sounds, warning each other about predators with shocking specificity. One alarm might mean hawk incoming, while another might be coyote approaching. He's fast and hungry. It's not just noise, it's neighborhood watch with flair. Honestly, If these guys ever start a podcast, I'd subscribe. They're nature's ultimate gossip queens, if the gossip involved imminent death by hawk. 19. The American kestrel may be small, but it's got vision that puts Batman's tech to shame. These pint-sized falcons can see ultraviolet light, which they use to track the glowing urine trails of their prey. Yep, rodents literally glow in the kestrel's eyes. That's one way to skip the guesswork. If you thought UV lights in hotel rooms were disturbing, wait until you realize this bird uses the same trick to plan its next meal. Stylish, deadly, and weirdly hygienic. 20. The nine-banded armadillo has mastered the art of weird survival. This little tank can hold its breath for up to 6 minutes and cross rivers either by swimming like a dog paddling football or walking underwater across the riverbed, like it's cosplaying a submarine. Oh, and it inflates its stomach to float. Because why not be your own life raft? Nature gave this oddball a hard shell and said, "Go wild." And it did. Straight into swampy sci-fi territory. 21. American black bears clearly didn't get the memo about sticking to their name. While black might be the default setting, these bears come in a surprising array of colors: brown, cinnamon, blonde, and even a rare ghostly white variation known as the spirit bear. Found in British Columbia, the spirit bear is so ethereal, it looks like a creature ripped from a fantasy novel. And no, it's not albino. It's a naturally occurring genetic variant. So next time someone tells you to bear with them, ask which color they mean. Because apparently these guys come in all shades of forest fabulous. 22. If you thought roadrunners were just speedy cartoons outrunning confused coyotes, buckle up. These birds are actual predators, and they don't just sprint, they hunt. With impressive speed and a total disregard for danger, roadrunners are known to team up to kill rattlesnakes. One distracts while the other strikes, turning a venomous predator into lunch. Imagine the teamwork. No capes, no weapons, just feathers, fury, and perfect timing. It's like nature's version of a buddy cop movie where the bad guy always ends up, well, swallowed. 23. Grizzly bears. Fluffy from afar, terrifying in a foot race. Despite their bulky appearance, grizzlies can clock in at 35 miles per hour. That's almost fast enough to beat Usain Bolt. And while Bolt tops out around 27 mesh, he doesn't do it while weighing 600 pounds and running uphill. So if you're hiking and thinking you can outrun a grizzly, don't. This is one wildlife encounter you can't win on cardio. Your best defense is avoiding the race entirely, or carrying snacks for distraction, just not your hiking buddy. 24. The giant Pacific octopus is not just the master of disguise, it's a cardiovascular overachiever. With 3 hearts beating beneath those squishy arms, this creature runs its system like a high-efficiency factory. 2 hearts pump blood through its gills, while the third handles circulation to the rest of the body. But here's the plot twist. When it swims, the main heart stops beating. That's right. This octopus literally gives its heart a break while it moves, which might explain why it's a bottom dweller most of the time. Low effort, high weirdness. 25. The painted turtle has one of the weirdest winter survival strategies in the animal kingdom. It breathes through its butt. Technically, it uses its cloaca, a multi-purpose exit for all things turtle, to absorb oxygen while hibernating under frozen water. During cold months, when lungs are useless and ice is everywhere, this turtle turns its rear into a life-saving snorkel. It's strange, it's effective, and it's definitely not something you'll find in a Disney nature documentary. Move over gills. Cloacas are in town. In 26. The Sonoran desert toad looks like a chubby little amphibian, but it packs a psychedelic punch. This toad secretes a powerful hallucinogenic toxin as a defense mechanism. And while this goo was never meant to be recreational, that hasn't stopped certain thrill seekers from turning it into a forbidden snack. Spoiler, don't do that. This isn't a magic mushroom. It's a biochemical warning label with legs. So admire it from a distance and let the toad keep its trip to itself. 27. The American pika may look like a fluffier cousin of Pikachu, but it's more of a high-altitude survivalist. These tiny, rabbit-like critters live in cold alpine regions and spend the summer stockpiling plants into carefully constructed haystacks to get them through winter. Imagine a rodent prepping for the apocalypse with the determination of a farmer and the energy of a squirrel on espresso. They don't hibernate, so every mouthful matters. And yes, they're as cute as they are hardcore. 28. Coyotes are the ultimate shapeshifters of the animal kingdom. Smart, scrappy, and eerily strategic. One of their wildest abilities? Adjusting the size of their litters depending on food supply. In lean years, fewer pups. In feast years, boom, baby boom. It's like their bodies have built-in economic forecasting. No spreadsheets, just evolutionary brilliance. So the next time you see a coyote raiding a trash can, know this. It's not just snacking, it's planning a family. 29. North American porcupines are basically walking medieval weapons. Covered in more than 30,000 quills, these slow-moving rodents rely on defense over offense. And no, they can't shoot their quills, that's a myth. But get too close and those barbed spikes detach easily, lodging themselves into anything unfortunate enough to try a taste. Each quill has microscopic hooks, making removal a painful experience. So if you ever wondered how a walking pin cushion survives in the wild, here's your answer: don't touch. 30. Monarch caterpillars are born rebels. Instead of nibbling on harmless greens, they go straight for milkweed, a plant loaded with toxic chemicals. These toxins don't hurt the caterpillar, though. In fact, they soak them up like little poison sponges, becoming unappetizing to predators. By the time they morph into monarch butterflies, they've earned nature's version of a "do not eat" label. Evolution's motto here? If you want to survive, eat the thing no one else dares to. Bold move, monarch. Bold move. 31. The North American beaver isn't just building dams, it's building entire ecosystems from scratch. These furry engineers alter landscapes with such dramatic precision that they could teach civil engineers a thing or two. Their dams slow down water flow, creating ponds and wetlands that act as natural water filters and flood control systems. And while they're at it, they provide prime real estate for frogs, fish, ducks, and even moose. All of this with nothing but teeth and elbow grease, or paw grease. The phrase "busy as a beaver" doesn't even begin to cover it. These guys are practically running their own environmental startup. 32. The muskox doesn't just survive Arctic winters, it laughs in the face of them. Thanks to a super insulating undercoat called kiviut, pronounced kiv-e-ute, these shaggy titans shrug off temperatures that would freeze your soul. Kiviut is 8 times warmer than sheep's wool and softer than anything that should logically grow on a wild animal. It's so prized by humans, it's harvested and sold as one of the finest luxury fibers on Earth. Basically, the musk ox comes with a built-in designer coat that never goes out of fashion. And no, you can't have one. 33. Prairie rattlesnakes skipped the whole egg-laying thing and went straight to live birth with built-in danger. Instead of depositing eggs like most snakes, they give birth to fully formed, venom-ready baby snakes. That's right. These kids slither out with fangs and poison, ready to ruin your picnic before they've even had a chance to nap. It's like being born with nunchucks and an attitude. Tiny, squirmy, and terrifying. Just how Mother Nature likes them. 34. Coyotes have officially gone urban, and they're thriving. These adaptive canines are turning up in city parks, skulking down alleys, and even using crosswalks like confused tourists. In fact, if you've seen what you thought was a mangy dog wandering your block late at night, there's a decent chance it was a coyote scoping out your trash situation. They've learned to avoid cars, outsmart fences, and live off everything from rats to leftover pizza. Survival of the smartest and sneakiest. 35. The electric eel isn't an eel, technically it's a knifefish, but it is a living taser. This river dweller from South America can unleash electric blasts of up to 600 volts, enough to knock out prey, scare off predators, or ruin your day if you get too close. It's like a battery with a bad attitude. And yes, it can aim. These shocks come in pulses, allowing the eel to track and disable its target like a biological stun gun. Nature said, "Let there be volts." 36. When elk want to impress the ladies, they don't dance or bring flowers. They scream. During mating season, males unleash haunting bugles that echo through forests and mountains. These eerie, high-pitched calls are like the elk version of karaoke, but with life or death stakes. The louder and weirder the call, the more the females swoon. It's less serenade and more scream therapy for love. But hey, it works. 37. The California condor is the boss bird of the sky, with a wingspan stretching up to a jaw-dropping 10 feet. These endangered giants don't bother with flapping much. They're expert gliders, coasting thermals and wind currents for hours without lifting a feather. They can soar up to 150 miles in a single day, which is more than most of us walk in a month. Elegant, efficient, and kind of smug about it. If you had a 10-foot wingspan, you would be too. 38. The armadillo isn't just weird-looking. It's got a reproductive trick straight out of science fiction. Every time a 9-banded armadillo gives birth, it produces identical quadruplets. That's right, 4 genetic clones from a single egg. No variety, no mixing, just Ctrl plus C, Ctrl plus V times 4. Scientists still aren't sure why evolution doubled down on the armadillo copy machine. But hey, if you find something that works, why mess with it? 39. Bald eagles don't do minimalism. These birds of prey build the mansions of the avian world. Their nests, called eyries, are constructed from sticks, bones, and whatever else they can carry, and they add to them every year. The result? Nests weighing up to 2,000 pounds, literally the size of a small car. It's overkill, sure, but it's also the avian equivalent of shouting, "I have arrived," from a mountaintop. 40. The pronghorn may not get the same spotlight as the cheetah, but don't sleep on it. It's the second fastest land animal on the planet. Capable of sprinting up to 55 miles per hour, pronghorns aren't just fast, they've got stamina. Unlike cheetahs, which burn out quickly, pronghorns can maintain high speeds over long distances. Basically, they're the marathoners of the animal kingdom, with the legs of a track star and the lungs of a Tour de France cyclist. 41. Orcas are the absolute top-tier predators of the sea. No exceptions, no challengers. Often called killer whales, they're actually the largest members of the dolphin family, which sounds like calling a great white shark a sea puppy. These guys hunt in pods, using coordinated strategies that'd make military units jealous. Fish? Easy. Seals? Snack-sized. Great white sharks? Deliciously doable. They've been caught flipping rays upside down, beaching themselves to snag sea lions, and even launching coordinated attacks like underwater chess masters. If you think sharks are scary, remember, orcas eat sharks and floss with their cartilage. 42. Beavers once again flex their engineering chops, but this time with record-breaking results. The largest beaver dam ever discovered, nestled deep in Canada's Wood Buffalo National Park, stretches over half a mile long. That's right, half a mile of twig and mud genius, crafted not by architects with blueprints but by oversized rodents with chewing obsessions. Their dams don't just stop water. They reshape landscapes, nurture wetlands, and create biodiversity hotspots. Honestly, if beavers ran city planning departments, we'd all have waterfront property and fewer floods. 43. The pileated woodpecker is nature's jackhammer, if jackhammers were red mohawked tree vandals with wings. These large birds can strike a tree up to 20 times per second, using their powerful beaks to drill for bugs and build roomy nesting sites. And they're not just smashing blindly. Each peck is part of a well-coordinated operation. Their skulls are reinforced, and their tongues can extend several inches past their beak to snatch up insects. If trees had security systems, these guys would be public enemy number 1. 44. The green anole is like nature's mini superhero, complete with a costume change. Native to the southeastern US, this little lizard can switch its skin color from bright green to deep brown, helping it hide from predators or communicate with other anoles. It's not quite full-on chameleon, but it's got the spirit. Think of it as nature's mood ring on legs. Except instead of telling you how you feel, it's trying not to become someone else's lunch. 45. If you've ever heard a ghostly wail echoing over a misty lake, chances are it was a common loon. Not a haunting spirit, probably. Their eerie, otherworldly call is iconic in North American wilderness, especially in the northern lakes during breeding season. It's the kind of sound that gives a horror movie its atmosphere, only it's 100% bird. Elegant swimmers and awkward walkers, loons are surprisingly elusive despite their unforgettable soundtrack. They're the true sirens of the North, minus the shipwrecks. 46. A woodpecker's life is one endless headache waiting to happen, unless you're built like a living shock absorber. And guess what? They are. These birds have evolved a unique anatomical setup with spongy bone around the brain and a skull structure that distributes force like a high-end crash helmet. So while it's bashing its beak into bark thousands of times a day, its brain just shrugs and says, "Again?" Imagine headbutting a wall at full speed and walking away smarter than before. That's a woodpecker's Tuesday. 47. The American alligator is the closest thing we have to a dinosaur that didn't get the extinction memo. These scaly tank lizards have been lurking in swamps and rivers for over 37 million years, just chilling, surviving, and perfecting the art of floating like a log until something edible wanders by. They've outlived ice ages, asteroid impacts, and countless evolutionary trends. While other species were getting wings and fur, the gator said, "Nah, I'm good." And apparently they were right. 48. Think flamingos are born fabulous? Think again. These leggy pink icons actually start out a rather boring gray or white. Their vibrant hue comes entirely from their diet, mainly shrimp and algae rich in carotenoids. Basically, flamingos are walking examples of "you are what you eat." Without those snacks, they'd look like washed-out storks on stilts. So next time you see one strutting around like it owns the pond, remember, it's not fashion. It's food-based pigmentation with attitude. 49. The Gila monster is slow, chunky, and extremely venomous. Basically the most underestimated badass in the desert. Native to the American Southwest, this lizard doesn't bite often, but when it does, it hangs on, chewing venom into its victim like it's marinating a steak. The venom is no joke, but here's the twist. Scientists have used it to develop medications that help manage type 2 diabetes. So while this critter could ruin your day with a chomp, it might also be saving lives with its spit. Nature, as usual, is weird and oddly generous. So, what's more shocking? The turtle with the underwater butt lungs, or the lizard whose venom helps treat diabetes? Yeah, didn't think this video would end like that. Smash subscribe if your brain short-circuited at least once. And now it's your turn. Drop the strangest animal fact you've ever heard in the comments. Make it weird. Make it uncomfortable. Make it so strange even Google blinks twice.